Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Sin City PM stream where we focus solely on fundamental and technical analysis. My name is David. I'll be your host for today's show. I'm excited today. I was looking through the charts. Honed in on 3 altcoins I think are super undervalued that I think are getting ready to make a move up. Charts are looking good. Fundamentals are looking good also. So we're going to talk about those today. I'll just let you know which ones they are. Avalanche, Near Protocol, and Akash Network, which Akash is taking an absolute beating, but all 3 are at very key important levels, value areas, and also from a structure point of view as far as, breaking trend lines and all the exciting and fun stuff. And so we're going to go over that. We'll also, of course, take a look at the markets. Yesterday, I was at least expecting a little bit more volatility with the markets with Trump's speech to Congress. They ended up being, it was great to see, the people he highlighted, that little DJ kid, man, that had me a couple tears in the eyes, man. That was awesome when he gave the Secret Service director a big hug. But no mention of crypto, no mention of Bitcoin. Now we're going to get plenty of that on Friday. And we discussed scenarios during the morning live show as far as what to do. Is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event? I think Rob and I were kind of both in agreement. More than likely will be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So just be careful with leverage. You don't want to be too levered because one big wick to either side against your trade will have you liquidated fairly quickly. So with that being said, I'm going to take a peek at the chat, welcome some people, and we'll jump right in. Jay Violet, what's going on? Max, what's up, brother? How you doing? Mario, Adam. Who else is in here? Stan, please, Hedera, make the list of righteousness. Maybe. The Hound, Hoskinson said he's not going to be there Friday. He's going to be in Japan. I was starting to watch his live show, Charles Hoskinson. And I was trying to see if he said anything, but I saw people in the chat talking about him not being there. I don't know about the whole Japan thing. I know the whole video is titled Japan, but either way, interesting. So the list we shared this morning then, I guess it still could be true. Right, and just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking, okay, here you go. Cardano co-founder Hoskinson is reportedly not invited to the summit. Not even invited. Oh, this is according to Unchained. Yeah, I'm not following Unchained. And so, yeah, just, obviously, I was looking at the official White House website to see if they posted any guidance on who they invited or who confirmed, but I couldn't find any. And so I guess everything at this point is either speculation or being individually confirmed by people like Charles Hoskinson. And so, you know what? Let's actually see how the market's reacted. 95 cents. So not really a sell-off for ADA. Let's take a look. We'll start there, and then we'll get into the rest. We'll get into some Bitcoin and then the 3 altcoins that I kind of mentioned. So ADA actually was one of the best performers. I believe today it was the best performer, coming up to resistance right around that dollar level, seeing a rejection, potentially setting up for a head and shoulders pattern here. You can see this is only hourly, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. There's your neckline, and it looks like it's about to break below. Now your measured move for this one would be a move down around 87 cents. So to those people that expected a sell-off from Charles Hoskinson, essentially confirming he won't be there, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Obviously, it would have been nice if he was there. I don't know if he wasn't invited or if he just said, no, I can't because I'll be in Japan. Either way, I haven't read anything personally myself or dug into it, so I'm not going to comment on it. But obviously, being in the room with those people would be a net positive. So, yeah. All right. Let's take a peek at the markets here. Also, if you're new, say hello. Also, I need you guys to be active in the chat, like the video, questions, comments, conversation, whatever. I'll peek in from time to time. If you have any questions about your favorite altcoin, my thoughts on X, Y, or Z, or you want to take a look at a chart, we can look at it together. Please be active in the chat. All right, BTC, 90K, essentially had a double top. This is again on the 1 hour. We had this bull flag pattern, ended up playing out, didn't get the entirety of the measured move, but we got stopped out right at 90K. So resistance level that we had plotted out, right? The bigger one for me was 92.5, and we didn't quite get there. But the good news is we're making higher highs, we're making higher lows. So will this trend continue? Again, expect some volatility going into Friday. So we have 2 more days left, and it does become a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I expect Bitcoin to come back down and test this 86.5 region. You have immediate support at 88.5. And then your next big one is, you can call it between 86 and 86,500. And you can see how price has reacted. That is where we got the breakout initially, from around 84.5 all the way up to that 95K level. On the way back down, we had spent a little bit of time here, not too much time, consolidating, eventually broke through, caught our support around $82,000. And then we saw that rally on the way up. We did break above this area here, and then we built support right on top, and then we saw that next rally that took us from around 86.8 up to that 90K level. Will 90K hold? I think we get one more rally. I think we get one more higher high. I think we get one more higher low going into Friday. I think we're going to tap this 92.5 level, and then I expect a little bit of retracement as we go into Friday. Again, the buy the rumor, sell the news event. It happens across all markets, crypto, stock market, all of it. Smart money gets in early, retail starts to buy on the actual day, and then the people that have accumulated or opened large positions, they end up using that new money as their exit liquidity. So expect a lot of volatility again. And then also you kind of have this rising channel, rising wedge, whatever you want to call this thing. And these things do typically break to the upside with some convergence right around that 92.5 level again. So that's BTC. ETH, ETH almost made my list of 3 alts that I think are ready to break, but I just don't know, man. I don't know with ETH. I think the ETH Foundation of Vitalik, they feel the heat, man. They feel the heat. I've talked about this all week, but they're feeling the pressure to ship their upgrades a lot faster. They had a mishap on the testnet with the last one. I think it's either Pectra or one of the other ones. Either way, they launched another one on the testnet, on the Sepolia testnet. So we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, I think the whole NFT, what drove it in the last cycle, NFT retail, I think ETH takes a lot smaller market share. Obviously, we've seen Solana grab a lot of that market share. We've seen Sweet, we've seen Sonic, we've seen a little bit of Avalanche and ADA, but not anything significant. So I think that narrative, that vertical for ETH is not going to be what carries it to a new all-time high. I think it's going to be institutions. It's going to be ETFs. It's going to be people like BlackRock. It's going to be projects like Ondo that are built on top of ETH, and them being the go-to institutional chain, whether it's stablecoin yields, whether it's RWA, whether it's building infrastructure, whatever you want to call it. And so that is what's going to drive. And so I think with that thought idea in mind, we'll see more violent moves to the upside, but you'll also see a lot more rebalancing and bigger pullbacks from ETH than you would something like Bitcoin, so to say, or something like maybe Chainlink, right? I think Chainlink's a solid play. That's up 12.15% over the last 24 hours, right? Sergey Nazarov is going to be at that White House meeting. He confirmed it himself, and I saw the confirmation on the website as well. And then what the hell is this doing here? It's funny. It was like a year and a half ago. I had a friend that kept telling me to mine Pi. Or it was like 2 years ago. I was like, what? I was like, no, I looked into it. I wasn't really surprised. I know a couple people reached out to me and were telling me that they kind of got screwed over. Any of you in the chat hold Pi or in that ecosystem? I don't even know. Does it do anything? I mean, I try to follow everything, but I just can't. Pi is a social cryptocurrency, developed platform and ecosystem designed for widespread accessibility and real-world utility, which is, it enables users to mine and transact Pi using a mobile-friendly interface while supporting applications built within its blockchain ecosystem. Is this its own L1? Anyways, I mean, it's got like no liquidity, right? It's got OKX, MEXC, but it's got none of the big 3, right? Or the big 4, call it. Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, or Crypto.com. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys hold any Pi? I personally don't. I don't know much about it, as you can tell from my analysis of the project. But I'm curious. Hedera Hedera's been crushing. I think, you run into scenarios and you look at charts and you look at price action, and everything tells you that this is going to break out. But then the overall macro environment, not macro in Wall Street or the economy, but macro cryptocurrency as a whole, Bitcoin included, kind of holds that down. Now, you do get some instances like Polygon 2 years ago where everything was trending down and it just ran from around 35 cents to $1.50. But I think Hedera, if conditions were a lot better, I think Hedera would be sitting at 45, 50 cents already. I really do. I think same thing with Stellar Lumens. It had that massive rally from 9 cents to 62 cents. And then just the environment in general. And then one of the coins I'm going to talk about today is Avalanche. Super bullish on Avalanche. And this is the chart I'm looking at, okay? So Avalanche, if you guys have been watching this show, you know how my brain works, how I work through the charts to identify value areas of either buying or trading, swing trading. So I started on the quarterly time frame, and this is the value zone I have sketched out here for Avalanche, okay? You have your lower end at around $8.84. I don't think it's getting there ever again. And then your upper range is $18.78, which we've tapped twice now on Wix, going back to July of 2024, and then more recently, Q1, which we're in now. Now, this candle still has around 25 days left. So the end of this month, this will be a quarterly close, and I expect this thing to close either at $18.78 or right below it. I don't expect it to go down towards that $8.84. I don't even expect, I honestly, $18.78 will be the absolute rock bottom. So you look at the price now, $21.69. So you ask yourself this question. Avalanche has, let's just say, we've identified $18.78 as our rock bottom value area, no brainer, super high reward versus fairly low risk. So you sit there and you say, okay, I'm $3 away versus if this thing starts to rally to $30, which was the previous 2 quarters ago open, we start to rally at the previous quarter open or the previous quarter close and the current quarter open, $35.89. So you're talking about an almost 2x, a 1.7x versus waiting for a $2.50 to $3 better entry, okay? On top of that, this is AVAX on the daily. And again, we plot these areas and then we zoom out. We zoom in, actually. We zoom in. And historically, at least going back to August of last year, we saw Avalanche break out of the zone. And this thing accumulated in here from November of 2022 until November of 2023. So for an entire year, during the crappiest bear market ever, Avalanche never got under the bottom end of our value zone. And then once it broke out, we got the retest we wanted, which solidified this as support on the way back. Here you go, an absolute perfect retest of the top end of our box here. And then what did Avalanche do? It absolutely smacked, right? It rallied 165% going into December of 2023, okay? And that is where we are now, okay? We are right there right now, off by $3. So now on the way down, you can see once, twice, close, but no cigar, close on a wick, touched it on a wick, had an immediate move back to the upside. And now we're seeing a red candle form. This is on the daily. Now on the weekly, what you're seeing happening here is you're seeing a symmetrical triangle play out. Now we had one deviation outside. You can see we fell right back into this pattern. And on the failed retest, we hit right at the top of this trend line, which is around $43. On the way down, we wicked down below our lower trend line a few times. And if this weekly candle closes below, then this could either be a deviation outside of this and we come right back in and rally to the upper end of this, which is around $36. Between 30, call it $34.50 and $36.50, okay, on the way back up. Or we close below and we catch support here. So either way, your downside risk is extremely limited. You don't have a lot of downside risk. You take a look at what's happening on chain, right? This was posted by Avalanche Foundation. The Avalanche network continues to see growth in activity with over 350,000 active addresses across L1s, the highest in over a year. And so, right, first take a look at the chart, then you take a look under the hood, okay? And Avalanche, everything from my personal perspective, what I'm seeing on the charts, fundamentally, following the project, what they're doing, their narratives that I'm bullish on, Avalanche checks 2 of those boxes, right? It checks the RWA box, it checks the gaming box. You throw an institution, it checks that box too. It's already worked with governments, the government of California, right? So a lot is happening, and price action seems to me that it hasn't caught up yet. And I know a lot of it has to do with the overall environment, Bitcoin losing key support levels on the way back down, trading under 90K. But I mean, you want to talk about value for a project that is doing everything it's doing. And after that Avalanche 9,000 upgrade, I mean, and this goes to this chart here, L1s became super cheap and easy to launch your own layer 1 using the Avalanche software developer kit, right? And so to me, Avalanche, absolute no-brainer. And I actually put in a limit order here. Did this position fill? No, the Bitcoin position filled. This must have been Robin. So what did he put in here? He put in is this a long? Huh. Okay. So that ain't my trade. So it's got to be Rob's trade, but he's been pretty hot. So assuming this works out, but I got my AVAX buy order, my limit long, 8x leverage, isolated at $21.09. And so I feel fairly confident my liquidation point is going to be well below that $18.78 level that we have on this chart here. And so pretty confident adding it to my spot bag. Also, in a Patreon post earlier this week or late last week, I talked about picking up Avalanche for 2 of my buckets, my cycle to cycle bucket and also my long-term stick it in there and hold it. Because I think this is, for me personally, this is maybe the last, I know we jokingly say it, maybe this is the last time you get AVAX under $22. I don't know. Either way, even if it isn't, guess what? If it dips below and it tests the bottom end of this region, which again, I don't see happening, but even if the worst case scenario plays out, I'll just buy more and bring my cost basis down. So I'm curious, what are you guys' thoughts on AVAX? Is anyone an Avalanche holder in here? Let me know. I'm pretty bullish on this project. I want to know if you guys are as bullish as I am. So yeah. The dudes do said some of you guys are not going to make it your exit liquidity. That's kind of messed up, but hey, I was exit liquidity in my early days. Got no shame in saying that. So, it brings up a good point. And he's right. Some people will be exit liquidity. I don't think it's going to be anyone here. I think a lot of it, people are going to come in later during the cycle and buy the tops, and they'll be our exit liquidity. But it just highlights the importance of staying in tune with the markets, continuing to have your due diligence, continuing to do research, not letting up, have a plan in place to take profit, to ladder out, DC out, whatever you want to do, percentage-wise, nominal dollar value-wise, whatever that number or amount or percentage is, have that in place, and then no matter what the markets do, just follow your steps, follow your plan. The last thing you want to do is Avalanche 10x is your portfolio, or the Avalanche in your portfolio 10x is, this thing's running hot, you're euphoric, you're excited, and you're like, oh man, it's worth like 32K, just a little more, $40,000, the 8K will cover my taxes, I can pay this, and this, and guess what happens? Never gets there, starts to trend down, your 32K now becomes worth 22K, and you're like, all right, fine. Just to rally back up to 32 and I'll cash it out. So it starts to rally back to like 28K. You're like, all right, 4,000 more. And then the bear market comes and you round trip your entire bag. I've been there. I know how that feels. It absolutely sucks. That's why I always tell people, have your plan in place before you even open a position. Before you open a long, a short, buying it spot, buying it to keep it forever, but whatever you want to do. Yeah. Three Diglets. $10 super chat said, hi, what's your top on AVAX for 2025? Okay. The way I like to, okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a teaching moment, but a little bit of a kind of a walkthrough here. Okay. So what I like to do is we can all throw round numbers out there. $500, $600. Great. I like to look at, and you know what? Let me see if I can pull this thing up. Price predictions. Because I did this the week of Christmas. And damn it. Was it this? Yeah. Oh, tell me I did Avalanche. I did do Avalanche. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So here is my process when I decide to do a what's my top, where do I think this thing's going to go? This is what I do. Okay? First thing I look at is dominance, okay? And I'll walk you guys through this. I go here and I already have this thing plotted out. AVAX dominance. Okay. So Avalanche's dominance over the entire market is currently 0.31%. Okay, and I'll move this over here. So when I first did this, this was back in December, right before Christmas, I believe. Before I did this, it was at 0.46. And then I look at, okay, where do I think the dominance is going to go? And where do I think the overall market cap is going to go? And so the overall market cap, I believe, is going to be anywhere between $8 to $12 trillion. With everything going on, institutions, the White House, the cabinets, the SEC, the CFTC, I think it's just going to be super bullish from a legislative side. People are going to get onboarded. You got strategic reserve, yada, yada, yada. Technology, great, cool. $10 trillion market cap, which is less than what gold is in its entirety, okay? We're talking about the entirety of the crypto, Bitcoin included, 10 trillion. Okay, so we're at 0.46 or now 0.31 in dominance. So I had a low, a high, and then a base case, okay? My low case was, it actually started to go back. The dominance goes up from 0.46 to 0.65%, and that would give you a price of $158.53, okay? That would be right around its previous all-time high. Gaming narrative never takes off. The upgrade fails, which we can cross this off the list now. Fails to bring in new L1s because, again, look at this. L1s launched on AVAX. There's no surprise it started going up after the upgrade. Now, my high side, this was like my super, I am so bullish. Oh, my God, Avalanche is going to be one of the best cryptocurrencies, period. 5%. 5%, 10 trillion market cap would give me $1,219 per Avalanche. Now, that sounds insane. It sounds, oh my God, this guy is smoking crack. What? That's a 60x from here. What is he talking about? But let me tell you something. A $10 trillion market cap at a 5% dominance. ETH got up to 25. XRP, let's take a look at let's just go down the dominance list, okay? ETH, 9.29%. XRP, 5%. Solana, 2.5%. It got as high as 4% for Solana. XRP, at one point, in 2018, got as high as 13%. Where does BNB's dominance? It got as high as 6.5%. Dogecoin's dominance got as high as 4%, right? You get the point here. So 5% is not some insane, crazy number. Right? What are the reasons I believe it can get to 5%? 1 to 3 more off the grid level games. States and governments start to tokenize on AVAX, kind of like California did. L1 ecosystem booms, which it is. Subnets explode, which it is. So you do the math, 5% of 10 trillion, you get that number, divide that by however many tokens are circulating. And if there's an inflation schedule, you kind of factor that into play. And then you divide that. And the number was $1,219. Now, that's my uber bullish case. My scenario, the one I think is more likely, my base case, like, okay, I think that's what's going to happen. And I'll just do it here so you guys can see. All right. So here's the calculator. By the way, I love doing stuff like this, man, because I like giving people kind of an inside track on my brain, how it works. Could be right, it could be wrong, but just an idea. So I would feel comfortable saying 3 to 3.5%. Okay. So we do $10 trillion. That's 10 billion, 10 trillion. Multiply that by, let's go right down the middle, 3.25%. Okay. So that gives you a market cap of $325 billion. Now we go to Avalanche and we take a look. Say, okay, what does the circulation look, or does the circulating supply looks like? Okay. We have 414 million circulating. Max total supply 450, max supply 715. You go to token unlocks and you see what the inflation rate is, okay? So you're looking at about, and you know what? Who gives you some better metrics on this and kind of better is CryptoRank.io. Let's go to CryptoRank.io. We'll scope out AVAX. We'll go to vesting. So the only thing, according to this, that is left to be unlocked, that is on a linear unlock, is the foundation. Okay? And you go look here, upcoming, around, where is it? Around less than 0.5% of their market cap is being unlocked. May 16th, August 14th, and then you don't have one until November 12th. So fairly low inflation on the unlocks and the vesting, okay? So the number we were looking at was around 425 million or 414. We'll round it up to 420 million. So now we go back here, assuming 3.25% dominance at a 10 trillion overall market cap. You divide this number by 420 million, and that gives you a price of $773 per AVAX. That would be my base case. Now, again, more games. Gaming explodes. It's top 3 in gaming. It's top 3 in RWA. We get maybe some more governments using it. So that would be my base case for AVAX. And of course, again, it all relates to and is tied to the overall cumulative market cap of the entire cryptocurrency space. So hope that answered your question. I know it was kind of long-winded, but again, I can sit here and I can throw random numbers at everyone without explaining, but I just, I like to back up my shit with some info. By the way, guys, if you haven't tried this, bomb. I don't want to hear, though, it's really, really bad for you and this and that, but you're right, but. So yeah, hope that helped answer your question, my friend. 3 Diglets, thank you so much. I don't know, what do you guys think? You guys think, what was that, 700 and... My short-term memory is getting shit. 700 and... What do you mean there's no history? I did 730 or 70 bucks, okay? What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Are you guys okay with that number? What is your top for Avalanche? I'm curious to know in the comment section. All right, we talked about AVAX. We have a limit order in, which maybe doesn't get filled because this thing, I think, is AVAX running? 1 hour, and just show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah. Higher highs, higher lows, right, for AVAX. The key level you're looking out for here is $22.53, which we kind of got a wick here already, okay? So that's what we're looking at, and let's see if we have any divergence on the RSI. Not really. Higher lows, nothing happening there. So I'm hoping we get a retrace so I can get this damn long position filled on AVAX. But yeah. All right, the next one is Near Protocol, okay? I still am. I was hyper bullish on Near, okay? This thing, I was really, really buying a shitload at like $1, 98 cents, $1. Sold a little bit along the way after it crossed that $5.20 threshold. I had my plan in place. I started DCA out. I think it got all the way up to about $8. I didn't sell any right at the top. I think my last sell I had was around $7.25. But you take a look at Near Protocol, okay? So again, we start on the higher time frames. We identify value areas, and the value area that I've identified on Near Protocol is between $1.50 and $2.45. Okay, now we zoom into the daily, and you look at how is price reacted again. And I know this is very redundant, but it's about as simple as it gets. High time frame, figure out an area, and then zoom into the charts, and then look at how historically price has reacted. Now, of course, it's not going to react the same exact way every single time that it did in the past, but it gives you a pretty good damn indicator of where investors see this thing as being undervalued. And they see this being undervalued under $2.42. Consolidation, chop, accumulate, big run up. Now, the one thing I want to show you here is this was back in the Christmas Day, 2023. This is on the daily, by the way. We saw this trend line hold and hold and hold. We even tapped this region, broke above, came back for the retest. Retest was good. Chopped for a few days, and then Near went on an absolutely massive rally. And we're seeing something very similar here, okay? Trend line to the downside, tapping up against this, even consolidating right above this line here. We almost had a breakout. We had a breakout, but we gave it all back the next day, okay? But look at what's happening now. We had our breakout on March 1st. We successfully retested, held up as support. The very next day, retested, held up as support, saw a very nice bounce. So theoretically, this is the candle you would want to enter in, whether it's a long trade or you're buying, okay? This is more for, I guess, swing trading and scalping. This would be the candle you want to enter, is at $2.79. And that is where Near is at right now. And it's a project that's got a great team that fits into the AI narrative. I know they had some big announcements recently, but again, value area, broken a key trend line, successfully retested that trend line. And now don't be surprised if we get a retest again, okay? But all you got to do, I mean, unless you're trading with like 50x leverage, then maybe you need to add some margin or adjust. But I mean, to me, this is another no-brainer. Quality team, quality project, fundamentals check out. Near Protocol's got actually a pretty good, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this. So to all of you that have the Almanac, thank you for supporting. If you don't have the Almanac, buy one. There's not a lot left because I'm about to show you, I did an entire write-up on Near Protocol, and I'm going to show you guys what I had on there and what kind of grading I gave it, okay? Let me just get to it. I'm not going to share the entire Almanac, so I'm kind of waiting for it to load. And then I will go to the Near section and show you what kind of grading I gave it, what kind of ranking I gave it, and then the write-up I did for it as well. And so I'm just, okay, here we go. So this section of our Almanac was grading the top 100 cryptocurrencies, okay? That was, Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. All right. So this was a grading level based off of price performance. And then we had a star grading level based on decentralization, scalability, security, tokenomics, and community, okay? I did one for every single top altcoin, and of course, including Bitcoin. I'm going to scroll down till I get to Near so I can show you guys. And by the way, I gave AVAX an A-. So the second best grade rating. Oh, don't want to skip by Polkadot. I'll eventually get there, I promise. Here we go. So Near Protocol, as far as decentralization, the grade I gave it is a 3.5. Scalability, 4.5. Security, 4. Tokenomics, 4. And community, 4.5. And this got an A grade for the year 2025. And so this kind of covered a little intro into Near, what makes it important, a little bit of background, what 2024 did, and what we look forward to in 2022 or 2025. So looking forward, Near Protocol is expected to further enhance its position as a leading layer 1 blockchain. Protocol's focus will likely remain on expanding its ecosystem through additional partnerships and the development of cross-chain solutions, which they have been. Their commitment to improving user experience, yada, yada, yada. You guys can read that all that later. Or if you want to buy the Almanac and read it in its entirety, the link is in the description of this video. We highly and truly appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, kind of forget where I was going. Oh, Near. Yeah. So Near, another no-brainer. Altcoin, I think, is going to rally. Charts, everything happening. This thing has been taking an absolute beating. We take a look at Near versus BTC. And I think we all already know that it ain't looking pretty. I don't even think I have it on here. Let's take a look. Near BTC, not BRC. BTC. I did have it on there. Why didn't you show up? Shame on you. And we can do the same thing, okay? We can do the same thing for Near versus Bitcoin. We can find value areas. I mean, do you guys need me to draw a rectangle or are we good? Right? We're at the lowest we've ever been since this info here, going back to October of 2020. The lowest we've ever been. So unless you think Near Protocol is going to zero, it's bottomed against Bitcoin. So like, what else are we waiting for here? Again, unless you think the project's going to zero, which I don't. But this thing looks like the ETH chart. This thing looks like the ETH versus Bitcoin chart. But what are you seeing here, right? And I bet you these bands are like a toy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're seeing a breakout. And this breakout is happening. Let's zoom in. So I use the Bollinger Bands to kind of see, Are we expecting volatility? Now, we did get that initial breakout to the downside after we saw the constriction here happening between 22nd of February through the 3rd of March. So this week, we saw a breakdown, and now we're catching support. It looks like we're kind of reversing. So Near Protocol, another one that made my top 3 list. And the last one is Akash Network. So same thing. We start with the lower time frame. This is the quarterly for Akash. I've identified the level between 73.6 cents and $1.13 as a value area for Akash. And then you zoom out or you zoom in. I keep saying zoom out. You zoom in and you say, okay, how has this area held up previously? Okay. So resistance, resistance, resistance. We kind of consolidate, chop sideways, break above, come back. We had a retest originally that held. Failure back into this pattern, right? Back into this rectangle. And between September of 2023 and November of 2023, so what is that, 2 months? Price just was range bound, right? It was a kangaroo market. It was in a bull market, a bear market, it was a kangaroo market. And then break above, right? We failed again, and then eventually we completely broke through, but we never came back for the retest. But Akash continued to rally and run. Now on the way down, we haven't retested this level yet. And again, that's $1.13. But Akash is another one. A lot happening behind the scenes. I love their team. I think Greg is an awesome founder. They fit 2 big narratives: DePIN, right? Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network, and artificial intelligence. And their Akash Super Cloud. And you guys got to understand too, here's the other thing. Your favorite altcoin or layer 1, is their product or service something that is necessary or a luxury? And what Akash is building is necessary. You need compute power, you need accessibility, and their super cloud, and they're integrating that with a lot of projects, including Eliza OS, Venice AI. I believe they also integrated on some level with either Hollow World or Virtuous Protocol. I got to double check on which one it is. But fundamental side, they're building, amazing team behind it. And again, it is a product or service that is a necessity, not a luxury, right? Having high throughput for most people is a luxury. To some people, sure, if you want to build big things, it could be a necessity. But when you talk about infrastructure, compute, like Elon Musk said, is going to be the most, how did he word it? The most important currency, like moving forward, is going to be compute. And that is literally what Akash Network does. And again, from a TA standpoint, sure, you can wait a little longer. See this thing drop down to maybe $1.20. We had a wick low of around $1.24 on Akash. Let's zoom into the hourly. Little bit of a bear flag pattern here playing out for Akash Network, right? I love flags. My favorite's the American flag. So you have, right, rally to the upside, and then this thing eventually breaks and falls. Now, we didn't fall as far as a lot of people were expecting, or we didn't really fall the depth of the measured move here, but we fell and we caught support, and we started making higher lows. And so, again, I'm a believer in Akash long term. And to me, maybe I don't get the perfect entry, but that's okay. I still think it's valuable, and you can make a lot of money. Any thoughts on Aether or Wormhole? No, I do not. Let's look at Aether. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell Aether is. There's so many freaking cryptocurrencies. Aether, number 172. It's got a market cap of $239 million. Let's go to their website. So ERC token. Okay, so it's got gaming AI. Let's take a look at gaming. Powerful GPU compute. Okay, so it fits in the compute GPU. Great. You guys already know how I feel about that. Animoca Brands, Gate.io, Bybit, okay. Magic Eden, Tensor, Opera AI, okay. Optimized for low latency, unrestricted game publishing, 12 million total capacity. Okay, so this is something I would definitely take a look at. Now, let's take a look at a chart. I haven't even looked at this chart. Aether. Oh, but I had it on my list because I think it was available on Buy DeFi. Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's try to find our value area. Ooh, that's an ugly monthly chart. Let's go to the week. Okay, so I mean, where I would draw it, the price is well underneath, right? My value area would be like here, right? So between 4.2 cents and 5 cents. And we're currently trading at 3.5 cents. And so, but what one good thing you're seeing here is you're seeing a potential inverted hammer or a potential spinning top, depending on where this price closes. And so that would mean a reversal, right? You see a pretty clear downtrend, right? Over the last 3 months or the last 4 months now, price has been trending down. And we zoom into the weekly chart loads. We zoom into the weekly, right? You're starting to see signs of a reversal here. And so, but I would expect for it to meet resistance right around 5 cents. Or actually where it is now, what is the lower here? Let me just plant a flag so I can reference this a lot quicker. So 4.2 cents. And I mean, that's just how support and resistance works, right? You catch support. On the way down, you break below. On the way up, you catch it as resistance. So that is where we're at. Now, if we break above that, I'd be looking at your next level of potential resistance, right around 5 cents. And if we get a breakout above that, there's really on the shorter time frame, I mean, you can probably drop on there at 6.7 cents. And then you had this area here where you saw some consolidation, right? You saw a lot of wicks into this region. This is where price struggled to break into. And then when it broke down back into this area, you saw price start to consolidate and eventually lose it, come back, fail on a retest. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking for a value entry, you're there. You're well below it. If you're looking for a trade setup, you want to enter into a long, I would have your take profit right around 4.18 cents because I think we're going to get rejected there. So, yeah, hope that helps. All right, wormhole. No, I don't really have any thoughts on wormhole, and I am getting a notification. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Why not, YouTube? Why not? My stream is looking really good, babe. Anyways, do you guys have any issues with the stream or anything? Please let me know. I'm curious. You sending WhatsApp digits and comments or that bait? I don't get it. Oh, is it Ashley in here? Huh. Jimmy, what's up, brother? How you doing, Jimmy? Billy, Crypto Billy, my dude. What's up, brother? How you guys doing? Okay, Diggity, Sea Breeze. Great question, Daniel. Where's Daniel? Is near better than render? That is a good question. That's actually a very good question. I'm not ready to answer that yet. I'm not ready to answer. Is it better in terms of what? Like potential, utility, adoption, potential adoption. Shakan said, I prefer fib extensions because you are just making up a total market cap to get your final number, whereas fibs use past. Yeah, that's cool, man. I use fib extensions too, but I also like to use the what I did. And so, like I said, TA and kind of analysis is just based on what you find valuable and what works best for you. And if that works good for you, man, that's awesome. This works good for me, but I like to use multiple different things. And yeah, you're right. Fib extensions is one of them. Have you done AVAX? Yes, Daniel, I have. I spent the most time actually on AVAX. Where the hell were you, dude? I did it for you, bro. Where were you? You keep coming in here asking about AVAX. I spent 10 minutes on AVAX. You weren't even here. Shame on you. Just kidding. Also, Ashwin said, thoughts on XLM? I kind of already shared thoughts on XLM. I'm bullish on XLM. I think XLM is going to be great. Have you taken a look at Ondo? No, we did this morning. I'm super bullish on Ondo. I'm curious to see how that Ondo chain is going to play out. And I'm assuming it would make sense for the Ondo token to be actually used. So yeah. If you haven't learned how to basically tell yourself, you're better off using the Bitcoin calling day. Okay. Guys, I think I'm done. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you're a trader, join our trading competition. I will actually put the link in the description of the video. All you got to do is you just got to use this link I'm about to paste in here. Use that link, create an account, and then start trading, and that's it. You're automatically entered into the trading competition. And as long as you hit 100K in trading volume at some point, and your top ROI, you'll get $300. And the winner at the end of the 4 weeks, we have 2 weeks left. The top one will get 500 plus, yeah. Also, Spine Ticks, thanks for the content, great info. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I love you so much. Thank you again. If you haven't watched our Hedera video, go watch it. It was a banger. Also, tomorrow morning is where you're going to see the AM live show with my co-host, Rob, where we talk about the news. Until then, peace.